Sneaker Life fam? It's your boy J-Jus. Hope each and every one of you guys is having a safe and blessed day. So guys, today we are going to be going over some releases that we have gotten, over some releases that, we wish we have gotten. Before we do any of that, make sure to go catch the review on the Air Jordan 5 Craft SE. The video is up now. The link will be down in the description section below. Man, y'all already know. Clean colorway in my opinion. Very slept on shoe. And man, just go catch the review. So guys, first sneaker up on the list that I have, bam, the Air Jordan 6 Bordeaux. Now, the Air Jordan 6 Bordeaux, of course, is from a classic OG colorway, which is the Air Jordan 7 Bordeaux. Now, of course, they just took that Air Jordan 7 Bordeaux colorway and put it on a different silhouette, which is the Air Jordan 6. Now, I feel like most people would have preferred for the Air Jordan 7 Bordeaux to release. I mean, it's been almost 8 years since we last seen that shoe. They last dropped in 2015. And to be honest, when they did give us the 6s, I mean, I did see few select people rocking these, but in my opinion, I feel like they didn't go wrong. Only thing they did was switch the colorway to a different silhouette, in my opinion. But nonetheless, I definitely like what they did. They didn't change anything as far as colorway scheme. As I mentioned, only thing that is different is it is being put on an Air Jordan 6. So in my opinion, when it comes to the Air Jordan Bordeaux 6s, I feel like most people would have just preferred for Jordan brand just to give us that classic OG 7 Bordeaux that we haven't seen in almost 8 years. So I mean, I kind of agree, it would be a good time for those to retro. But coming in at number one, yeah, we got the Air Jordan 6 Bordeaux. Next up, Air Jordan 5 Oreos. Now, I put the Air Jordan 5 Oreos on here because this shoe did drop back in 2021, and strictly I'm going over some older releases. I will do a separate video on some of the more recent releases later on this year. But when it comes to the Air Jordan 5 Oreos, this shoe actually dropped around the time that it was the year of the 6s. And in my opinion, I definitely would have preferred for Jordan brand to give us an Air Jordan 6 Oreo, but which they did, but the only thing was they switched out the colorway. Instead of having that black and white traditional Oreo colorway, they gave us a red and white Oreo colorway. Now, of course, I was feeling the actual retail pair more than the mock-up pair, but it just, in general, I would have just preferred for Jordan brand just to give us the Oreo 6s from 2010, in my opinion. And one thing I will say that they did with, a shoe that most people wasn't looking for, is they gave us these more closer to the OGs from 2013 than they have with many of the other silhouettes that they have dropped. So I will say, when it comes to certain silhouettes that we don't want, Jordan brand definitely, tends to give those particular silhouettes, and make them look like more of the OGs than more of the recent, ones that, we may want that we haven't seen in a while. But, this is one of them, in my opinion. Coming in at number 2, we have the Air Jordan 6 Oreos. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 9 University Golds. Now, of course, when it comes to the University Golds, this is following also in a classic colorway from the Air Jordan 9 Charcoals. Now, of course, they made this model look exactly like the 2010 dark charcoals. And it's crazy because I actually had that pair, like literally. I can't remember what happened to that pair. I can't remember if I, beat them to the ground. I can't remember what happened to that pair, but I definitely, still to this day, I can't remember what happened to that pair. And man, I feel like they need to re-release those. But that is definitely what the Air Jordan 9 University Gold is. Only thing that they did was they switched out the University Gold for that, University Red. Now, in my opinion, I feel like more people would be hip to having the Air Jordan 9 dark charcoal, seeing that that's an OG colorway. And I mean, even if they do bring them back out, bring them just back like the 1994 version, in my opinion. Like, you know, with the 1994 version, I definitely feel like, you know, the colorway was a bit more darker. Now, I'm gonna be honest, with the 2010 version, I definitely was rocking with the 2010 version. And I mean, they could even do it like that, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, they did it with the University Gold. So I wouldn't be, you know, mad if they hit us with, you know, that 2010 version. But we definitely need the dark charcoal University Reds back, in my opinion. Definitely need those back in the collection. So Jordan Brand, if you're watching this video, bring those back ASAP. But coming in at number 3, guys, we got the Air Jordan 9 University Gold. Coming in at number 4, we got, bam, the Air Jordan 12 Royalty Taxis. Now, of course, when it comes to these, you know, it was definitely a love-hate relationship with these, because, you know, most people liked them, but most people was just on the fence about these. Most people definitely wasn't rocking with them, you know, simply because they wanted the actual taxis. Now, as I mentioned, if you don't have the taxis and you've never owned a pair of the taxis, then I will say that the Royalty Taxis is definitely one that you could or should grab for the collection, simply because we never know when the taxis might release. I mean, we getting the OG Cherry 12s later on this year. And in my opinion, you know, it would have been dope for Jordan Brand to release the Taxi 12s next year, just to kind of, you know, feel that OG vibe in. But I feel like when it came to these, it was definitely a love-hate relationship with the Air Jordan 12 Royalty Taxis. And it's crazy because, you know, we've had the black taxis, and I feel like, you know, Jordan Brand, and I've spoken on this plenty of times, given, you know, silhouettes, that taxi name just definitely pushes it further down the line for the Air Jordan 12 taxis to release. And in my opinion, I also feel like, you know, Jordan Brand, seeing that a lot of these OGs have been sitting, it might take some time for them to release the Air Jordan 12 taxis. But Jordan Brand, if you're watching this video, just as I mentioned with the charcoal 9s, definitely we need the taxis ASAP, no Rocky. So, you know, definitely we need those. But, you know, the Air Jordan 12 Royalties coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 5, we got the Air Jordan 11 Cherries. Whew. Man, this cherry, in my opinion, now y'all know, if you know, you know, Jordan 11s is my favorite silhouette, hands down. Now, to be honest, I'm not a fan of every silhouette that they have been dropping, you know, in the Jordan 11, you know, particularly. Now, we had that, you know, Animal Instinct colorway. I wasn't a fan of those. I mean, we've had the Midnight Navies that dropped last year. I mean, those was cool, but, you know, just wasn't a fan of those. I personally prefer all pad leather on mine. Now, of course, you know, when it came to these, it was a half-half, you know, kind of thing, as to where most people was like, you know, they should have gave us, you know, maybe the cap and gowns or the gammas instead of giving us these. And I mean, you know, it's been years since we last seen the gammas. I want to say we last seen the gammas in 2012, 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And to be honest, you know, I definitely would have liked for the gammas to release, you know, even if the cap and gowns released. I mean, cool, you know, I'm definitely here for it. I mean, any Air Jordan 11, you know, in my opinion, definitely sits right with your boy. So, you know, but I feel like the Air Jordan 11 Cherries definitely lived up to its name, because, man, this shoe definitely caused a lot of chaos. And, man, a lot of people was just trying to acquire this shoe. And luckily, I was able to get these for retail on release day. But, you know, as far as when it comes to Air Jordan 11s, y'all know it's a holiday shoe. Y'all know it's a shoe that everybody want to get their hands on. And seeing how we got the Air Jordan 11 DMPs, you know, and they did give us some first looks at those. I'm not sure as to if they're going to still call those DMPs. But, man, like, let me know how y'all feeling about those also. But, you know, the Air Jordan 11 Cherries, I just feel like, you know, it was just so much emotions around the shoe, you know, as to Jordan Brand should have gave us the cap and gowns. Jordan Brand should have gave us this. Then you had some people who, you know, were on a whole different level as to where, you know, they rock with them, they like them. And man, this is a shoe that I've seen being rocked so many times. So man, that lets me know where the love is for the Air Jordan 11. But coming in at number 5, guys, we got the Air Jordan 11 Cherry. These are all of the releases right here, y'all. So man, y'all let me know down in the comment section below what y'all think. Like I always say, you got your boy J-Jus, you got the channel, you got my top 5 sneakers that we have gotten versus what we should have gotten. Spam down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to leave a like at the end of this video as well. And with all that being said, man, I appreciate you guys so much. Reach for the stars. Sky's the limit. And we out.